All right, welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time we're taking a look at Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh, well,
We're going to go through, we're going to kind of dissect, I guess, the core ideas of Robert Kiyosaki's book.
right.
And, you've shared some excerpts with us so we can kind of skip the basic summaries and
Right.
really get into the meat of it.
Yeah.
And so are you ready to uncover maybe some actionable strategies for building wealth and maybe challenge some of our financial beliefs along the way?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's really interesting about Rich Dad, Poor Dad is how Kiyosaki uses his personal story
Right.
to kind of frame these bigger ideas.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't just lecture you about financial concepts.
Right.
He kind of pulls you in with these contrasting philosophies between his two dads.
Yeah, it's those personal stories that make it so relatable, right? I mean, who can forget those quotes about money being the root of all evil versus the lack of money being the root of all evil?
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
I think his point is that these beliefs that we have that are often ingrained in us, from our parents,
Right.
can really shape our financial destinies.
Yeah.
And he argues that conventional education focuses on getting a good job,
Mm-hmm.
but it completely neglects this essential skill of managing money.
Yeah, it's like he's saying you can be a brilliant doctor or lawyer, but without financial literacy, you could still end up struggling.
Exactly.
And that really resonated with me. I remember thinking back to my own financial education or lack thereof
Yeah.
and being so unprepared
Yeah.
for the real world when it comes to money matters.
Yeah, well, and he gives that really compelling example of being 9 years old and starting a counterfeiting business with his friend,
Yeah.
making toothpaste
Mm-hmm.
from scratch, and obviously they get shut down.
Right.
But it planted those seeds for entrepreneurship
Right.
and, taught him the value of taking action, even if it means facing failure.
It wasn't about the toothpaste, right? It was about him challenging the status quo, thinking outside the box,
Yeah.
and daring to kind of create something.
Precisely.
Ew.
And then there's that story about working at his friend's dad's convenience store for 10 cents an hour.
Right.
And his dad's furious, thinking it's exploitation.
Right. Right.
But his rich dad had a completely different agenda.
Right.
He was subtly introducing him to this fundamental difference between earned income,
Uh-huh.
trading your time for money,
Okay.
and passive income where money works for you.
Right.
And that's a huge shift in perspective for
Yeah.
a young kid.
Yeah. And this leads us right into the rat race.
Yeah.
He kind of paints this picture of people stuck in this cycle of working, paying taxes, spending, accumulating debt,
Yeah.
and never really getting ahead.
Like that example of the young couple who buys their dream home thinking it's an asset.
Right.
But with the mortgage and the property taxes and the upkeep,
Right.
it quickly becomes this financial burden, pulling them deeper and deeper into debt.
Have you ever felt that pull yourselves?
Oh, absolutely.
That constant pressure to keep earning more just to stay afloat.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think most of us can relate to that feeling of, being trapped on a treadmill,
Yes.
running faster and faster,
Yes.
but not really getting anywhere.
But not really getting anywhere, and it makes you question those societal norms, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Around money.
Totally.
Um,
And Kiyosaki, doesn't shy away from kind of tackling these uncomfortable emotions
mhm.
that keep us stuck, like
Mhm.
fear and desire.
Right.
He uses that analogy of the donkey chasing a carrot on a stick,
Right.
constantly striving for more money, but never quite reaching it.
Like Mrs. Martin, the store owner, clinging to her job out of fear, even though it made her miserable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So all of these examples highlight how our emotions can really sabotage
Right.
our financial well-being.
Yeah, it's like he's giving us permission to question those beliefs and motivations,
Yeah,
right, that
yeah.
we have around money and be more conscious. Yes.
Of our choices and
Yeah.
making sure they're aligned with our long-term goals.
That's a great point.
Right.
Yeah, he's encouraging us to develop a more critical eye,
Yes.
to not just accept the conventional wisdom about money,
Right.
but to question everything.
Yeah, and speaking of challenging conventions, remember that second business venture,
Oh, yeah.
the comic book library?
Comic book library, yeah.
Instead of getting traditional jobs, they create this system where other kids pay them to read comics.
I know. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
And it really embodies that concept of passive income,
Right.
building an asset
Uh-huh.
that generates revenue without requiring constant work.
And he's learning these lessons so young.
Oh, yeah.
It makes you wonder what's possible if we start to question these financial norms earlier in life.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
even if you're starting later,
Yeah.
Kiyosaki provides this framework for shifting your financial mindset.
Right.
And it all begins with understanding the difference between
Yes.
assets and liabilities. This is where he really dives into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
He doesn't just say assets are good, liabilities are bad.
Right.
He gives you this clear lens to analyze your own finances.
He really flips the script on what we're traditionally taught to value.
Right.
It's not about how much money you make.
Mm-hmm.
It's about how much money you keep
Right.
and how hard that money works for you.
So real estate, stocks, bonds, intellectual property,
Yeah.
anything that puts money in your pocket,
Uh-huh.
those are assets.
Right.
While mortgages, credit card debt, car loans,
Yep.
anything that takes money out of your pocket, those are liabilities.
It's a simple but powerful framework
Right.
that can revolutionize how you view your financial decisions.
And this is where things start to get interesting because he argues that even highly educated people struggle financially because they don't have this critical skill
Yeah.
of financial literacy.
Yeah, and he's not just talking about knowing how to balance a checkbook.
Right.
He's talking about understanding how money flows,
Mm-hmm.
how to make it work for you,
Right.
and how to break free from that rat race mentality.
And this is where he introduces another kind of controversial idea
Okay.
that the rich don't play by the same rules
Right.
as everyone else.
Right. He dives into how the wealthy use corporations to their advantage,
Right.
minimizing their tax burden
Right.
and protecting their assets.
He highlights how corporations allow them to deduct expenses before paying taxes,
Right.
which is a significant advantage
Yeah.
compared to employees who earn income, pay taxes on it,
Right.
and then try to manage their expenses with what's left.
It's a system that seems inherently unfair, but his point is to understand the rules of the game, not to complain about them.
Right.
Right. And he urges us to focus on what we can control, which is minding our own business.
And that doesn't necessarily mean starting a company, right?
Yeah.
It's more about building that asset column
Exactly.
and creating income streams that aren't tied to trading your time for money. Exactly.
It's about building a financial fortress
Right.
that can weather any storm.
And he lays out these 4 key areas
Yeah.
to develop financial intelligence.
Okay, let's break it down.
Okay, so we've got accounting,
Uh-huh.
investing, understanding markets, and the law.
Okay.
So accounting is about being able to read and understand financial statements, right?
Exactly. It's about becoming financially fluent,
Right.
being able to analyze a business or an investment
Uh-huh.
and understand its true value.
Investing is putting your money to work in assets
Yeah.
that generate income.
Right.
Then we have understanding markets,
Uh-huh.
which he says is about recognizing those opportunities
Yeah.
and inefficiencies.
Yeah, being able to see the big picture,
Right.
predict trends,
Yes.
and anticipate market shifts.
And then finally, the law.
Okay.
This isn't about becoming a lawyer,
Right.
but it's about understanding the legal and tax implications of your financial decisions.
Exactly. He wants you to know the rules of the game so you can play it strategically.
And his own story is full of examples of how he leveraged legal structures and tax codes
Totally.
to build wealth.
Absolutely. He emphasizes that knowledge is power,
Right.
and understanding the legal and financial landscape is essential
Yeah.
for building long-term wealth.
But knowledge without action is useless.
Yes.
And one of the biggest roadblocks he identifies is fear.
Right.
He shares the story of his friend Richard,
Yes.
who passed up on this amazing real estate deal.
Because he listened to his neighbor's doubts.
Yeah.
I know.
It highlights how fear can paralyze us
Yeah.
and cause us to miss out on incredible opportunities.
It's a reminder to do your own research, trust your gut,
Right.
and not let other people's fears
Yes.
dictate your decisions.
And he has this interesting concept of I don't wants.
Okay.
He argues that identifying what you don't want can be a powerful motivator.
Okay.
He uses the example of not wanting to fix toilets, leading him to figure out how to manage real estate investments without being hands-on.
Yep.
It's about turning those I don't wants into fuel
Yeah.
for innovation.
I like that.
He also challenges this idea of being busy.
Okay.
He argues that busy people are often the laziest.
Interesting.
He tells a story of this businessman who loses his family and his job because he was too busy to address the important issues in his life.
Yeah.
He was busy working in his business,
Right.
but not on his business or his life.
That's a good distinction.
It's a stark reminder that busyness does not equal productivity,
It doesn't.
and we need to be intentional with how we spend our time and energy.
Right. And he stresses the importance of paying yourself first, building that financial foundation,
Right.
and using financial pressure as motivation
Okay.
to find creative solutions.
He believes that necessity is the mother of invention.
Makes sense.
And finally, he tackles this issue of arrogance,
Okay.
arguing that it can mask ignorance. He points out that people who truly understand a subject don't need to boast or brag.
Right.
They're confident in their knowledge, and they're willing to share it generously.
Right.
He's cautioning us against overconfidence and encouraging us to be lifelong learners.
Yeah, I like that.
Seeking out mentors, admitting what you don't know, surrounding yourself with people who are smarter than you.
He believes that learning from those who have already achieved what you want to achieve
Right.
is one of the fastest paths to success.
So are you ready to dive into some actionable steps we can take
Yes, let's do it.
to start building wealth and developing this financial intelligence that he talks about?
Absolutely. Let's explore some concrete strategies
Right.
that you can start implementing today. Well, Kiyosaki, he's all about taking action.
Right.
And one of his biggest pieces of advice is to find mentors.
Okay.
People who have already achieved what you aspire to.
Yeah.
Learn from their successes and mistakes.
It's like finding your own rich dad.
It's exactly.
One who can guide you and challenge your assumptions.
Yeah.
Open your mind to new possibilities.
He also emphasizes the importance of continuous learning.
Okay.
Taking classes, reading books,
Yeah.
attending seminars.
Right.
It's not just about acquiring knowledge. It's about developing your financial intelligence
Right.
and honing your skills.
It's like sharpening your financial toolkit.
Exactly.
Right. He also talks a lot about real estate investing.
Yeah.
And one of his key strategies is to make a lot of offers.
Right. He's not afraid to walk away if the deal isn't right.
Right.
But by making numerous offers, you increase your chances of finding those hidden gems, those undervalued properties that can generate significant returns.
Right. And he's a big believer in shopping for bargains.
Yes.
Especially during market downturns.
Absolutely. That's when you can often find the best deals
Yeah.
when everyone else is panicking.
It's about having the courage to go against the crowd and see the opportunity
She's
where
a-
others see fear.
He encourages thinking big
Okay.
and not being afraid to take calculated risks.
Right.
He says, too many people play it safe and miss out on the potential for massive growth.
Right.
He also stresses learning from history,
Oh, okay.
studying the patterns of successful investors,
Right.
and understanding economic cycles.
So it's not just about luck.
No.
It's about understanding these principles that govern wealth creation
Exactly.
and applying them strategically.
And one of the most powerful ways to solidify your understanding is to teach others.
Okay.
When you teach, you're forced to clarify your thinking,
Right.
identify gaps in your knowledge, and find new ways to explain
Oh, right.
complex concepts.
He talks a lot about putting knowledge into action.
Yeah,
And teaching is a great way to do that.
absolutely.
Now, one of the stories that really stuck with me was his experience buying that rundown house for a steal.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
With the 4 extra empty lots?
The 4 extra empty lots.
Yeah, he saw an opportunity that others missed.
Right.
The chance to create value where others saw only blight.
He tore down the house, sold the lots,
Yep.
made a quick profit.
It's a perfect example of seeing with your mind what others miss with their eyes.
Yeah, it highlights the importance of creativity and resourcefulness
Absolutely.
when it comes to building wealth.
Another critical skill he emphasizes is the ability to raise money.
Okay.
He says most people limit themselves by only thinking about traditional financing options like bank loans.
Right, like going to a bank and getting a loan.
Exactly. He encourages exploring alternative avenues
Okay.
like partnerships, private investors, creative financing strategies.
Remember how he bought that $1.2 million apartment building
I do.
without using any of his own money?
Yeah, he understood the power of negotiation and leverage.
Right.
He was able to structure a deal that benefited everyone involved.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about the numbers.
Right.
He also understood the importance of building relationships and creating win-win scenarios.
He shares that story about the talented writer
Oh, yeah.
who dreamed of being a best-selling author.
Right.
She had the writing skills, but she lacked the business savvy
Right.
to market her work effectively.
And his advice was to go to sales school.
Yeah.
That's not what you typically expect.
Right. It's a great example of how he thinks outside the box.
Totally.
He recognized that success often requires a diverse skill set.
Yes.
Not just expertise in one area.
He's constantly challenging us to expand our comfort zones
Right.
and develop new skills that complement our strength.
And this all ties back to that core belief
Yeah.
in the importance of lifelong learning and seeking out mentors.
Absolutely. He believes that we can accelerate our growth by learning from those who
Right.
have already walked the path we want to walk.
And education doesn't end when we graduate from school.
It doesn't. It's an ongoing process
Right.
of seeking out new knowledge, challenging our assumptions,
Right.
and refining our understanding of the world.
It's about staying curious.
Yes.
Staying hungry.
And never losing that thirst for knowledge.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear your final thoughts.
Okay.
What key takeaways will you be carrying with you?
You know, for me, it's that powerful reminder that financial success isn't about luck or circumstance.
Right.
It's about taking ownership of your financial destiny,
Okay.
developing your financial intelligence,
Uh-huh.
and taking consistent action.
I love that. And it's not just about accumulating wealth, right?
It's not.
It's about the freedom and choices
Yeah.
that financial security can provide.
It's about having the resources to pursue your passions,
Yeah.
support the causes you care about,
Right.
and make a meaningful contribution to the world.
So what can we do today, right now,
Yeah.
to start moving in that direction? What's one small step we can take?
Well, it could be as simple as picking up a personal finance book
Okay.
or researching a new investment strategy. Maybe it's having that conversation with a mentor or setting a financial goal
Right.
that truly excites you.
It's about breaking down those big,
Yeah.
overwhelming goals into smaller, manageable steps.
Exactly. And remember,
Yeah.
it's a journey,
Right.
not a race.
Yes.
There will be setbacks and challenges along the way.
Right.
But the key is to keep learning, keep growing,
Yeah.
and keep moving forward.
He emphasizes that financial success is a skill, not a talent.
It is.
It's something we can all learn and develop
Yeah.
with the right mindset and consistent effort.
And he reminds us that failure is part of the process.
Yeah.
It's not something to be feared,
Right.
but rather an opportunity to learn and grow.
He encourages us to embrace those challenges, learn from our mistakes,
Yeah.
and come back stronger and wiser.
And remember that we're not alone on this journey.
Okay.
There are countless resources available,
Right.
from books and podcasts to seminars and online communities.
Right.
There's a whole world of support out there
Yeah.
for those who are willing to seek it out.
So if you're feeling inspired
Yeah.
to take your financial future into your own hands,
Uh-huh.
don't wait another day.
Do it.
Start taking action today.
Yeah.
Pick up that book, reach out to that mentor,
Exactly.
make that investment.
The power to create a brighter financial future is within your grasp.
I love that.
It's time to step up, embrace the challenge,
Yeah.
and start building the life of your dreams.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up, in the day-to-day
Yeah.
and lose sight of the bigger picture. But Kiyosaki's book really challenges us to kind of step back and think about our financial future.
It does. It's a call to action.
Right.
He doesn't just want us to read the book and nod our heads.
Mm-hmm.
He wants us to apply these principles, make changes,
Mm-hmm.
and build a life of financial freedom and abundance.
It's not just about the money either, right? It's
It's
about
the-
freedom
Yeah.
and the choices
It's the choices, exactly.
that security can provide.
It's about having the resources to pursue your passions,
Right.
support the causes you care about,
Mm-hmm.
and make a meaningful contribution to the world.
So what can we do today, right now, to start moving in that direction? What's one small step we can take?
Well, it could be as simple as picking up a personal finance book
Okay.
or researching a new investment strategy.
Right.
Maybe it's having that conversation with a mentor or setting a financial goal that truly excites you.
It's about breaking down those big, overwhelming goals
Yeah,
into smaller, manageable steps.
exactly. And remember, it's a journey, not a race.
Right.
There will be setbacks and challenges along the way.
Yeah.
But the key is to keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward.
He emphasizes that financial success is a skill, not a talent.
It is.
It's something that we can all learn and develop
Yeah.
with the right mindset and consistent effort.
Absolutely. And he reminds us that failure is a part of the process.
Right.
It's not something to be feared, but rather an opportunity to learn and grow.
Yeah, he encourages us to embrace those challenges.
Yeah.
Learn from our mistakes and come back stronger and wiser.
And remember, we're not alone on this journey.
Right.
There are countless resources available, from books and podcasts to seminars and online communities. There's a whole world of support out there for those who are willing to seek it out.
So if you're feeling inspired
Yeah.
to take your financial future into your own hands, don't wait another day.
Don't wait.
Start taking action today.
Yes.
Pick up that book, reach out to that mentor, make that investment.
The power to create a brighter financial future is within your grasp.
I love that.
It's time to step up, embrace the challenge, and start building the life of your dreams.
And that concludes our deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Awesome.
We hope you gained some valuable insights and are feeling empowered to take control of your financial destiny.
Yeah,
Remember, knowledge is power, but only when it's put into action.
that's right.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.
See ya.